Hey, everybody. It's time for another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. We do this every single week, and we're not letting up now. Jim Curry batting leadoff. Step right up to the plate, Mr. Curry. It's been a busy last week for you and everybody at Lion U.
Hey, swing away. We're 56 games in 26 days. We're in the midst of it right now. So, we talk about using this platform to, bring impact and activity and attention to commerce in Northeast Texas and Hunt County and our surrounding communities. And that is in full effect over the next few weeks here. 16 different softball teams here, staying multi-nights in local hotels and restaurants. So we're excited to be a part of that. But it was a 1 a.m. finish for softball on Friday night.
Last pitch.
Last pitch. Lions win, by the way, too.
Hey!
So 1 o'clock finish, and then we were back at it for doubleheader basketball, and I'm back at it at softball at 9 a.m. for 9 a.m. start. So there's a team no sleep running around here right now that legitimately just didn't go home on Friday night. So just grateful for the work that the staff's doing to play host to a number of games, give our student athletes and our teams an opportunity to be successful at home. Obviously, make an impact here with our local economies and in our communities, but then also get right back at it again and do it all over.
I mean, trainers need a trainer now, don't they, when they've got that much work in front of them?
I'll tell you, it's the trainers, it's the broadcast crew, it's the game ops folks, it's the engine behind the scenes. It grows and grows, I think, with what we're doing in terms of showcase and broadcast and those types of things. So it's a small army, honestly, that goes into it, but it's a great team for sure.
All right, that great stuff. And speaking of softball, just to kind of touch on this before we get into everything else, the softball this weekend is the Lion Invitational, and that starts on Thursday.
Hmm?
Four teams in. I'm just going off of the flyer, so I couldn't tell you which ones they are, but what kind of competition has Brittany got for this time around?
Yeah, there's a few good teams coming in. Probably maybe the one of the more noteworthy non-conference attendees for this weekend is Marist. For
Hmm.
those from Poughkeepsie, New York, it may be wintertime up in New York, but they can swing the bats up there and sling it around. They actually won their conference tournament last year and won a regional game in the in-state tournament.
Wow.
So the Marist Red Foxes, for those of you not familiar with them, will be in town this weekend, among others. But they're a team that's worth checking out just because they've been really successful the last few years. I have a former MLB player who's their head coach for a number of years now. But trying to think through all the other teams that are coming in, they're all starting to run together when you have as many games as you've got. But I think SIUE is here this week. Oh, that's next weekend. I'm sorry. Um, Jackson State's here this weekend. Grambling's here this weekend. SEMO's here this weekend. Rhode Island. Yeah, Missouri
Little Rhodey.
State. So we're coming from all over the place.
Hey, you being a Maine guy, did y'all make fun of Rhode Island much?
Nah, we never made fun of them. Yeah, they're New England fans like us.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
they were sad about the Patriots losing just like I was.
They fell into that. What do they call it?
They were Yankee
The
country.
Red Sox Nation.
They are Red Sox Nation for sure. And they were in the old Yankee conference with like BU and Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont when they had football still, and
Hmm.
Rhode Island was in that. So that's some old memories for me, back the old Yankee conference days now.
I'm telling you. All right. Well, before we drift too far away into just the athletics part, we got to talk about that spectacular gift last week that was announced that Renee Griffin made.
Yeah,
We don't
incredible.
have to worry about name that building anymore, do we?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. And, grateful for Renee, not just for the contribution, of course, but I think just more for believing in what we're building here, believing in the vision for not just athletics, but the university as a whole, and for wanting to make an impact. when we got talking about this gift, one of the things I think that was really important for him is I think he's hoping is that it becomes a catalyst for others to get involved. And for anybody that's heard us talk about engagement and fundraising activities in athletics, particularly, we've never focused on a dollar amount figure as a goal. We've
Hmm.
always focused on the number of people involved with us, engaging with us, contributing to, athletics or our sports teams or our student athletes. That's been the focus, is just growing the number of people under the tent, because that's really where our success, sustained success, will come from, is
Hmm.
just having more people on the team, frankly. So, as we talk through this entire thing, that was an important catalyst for him, is that hopefully it spurs other people to be motivated to get involved. So we're obviously hopeful of that too, of course. But credit to everybody involved in that, Renee in particular, but partnerships with the folks over in philanthropy engagement, Devin Gerard and their team. We've got great partnership with them in athletics and that group. And so I think it really came to a head here in this conversation with Renee, and in terms of how it all just fits together. Because there's things that are going to help the university and our students generally in that gift as well, even though a significant portion of it obviously is impacting athletics positively.
So the money is divided three ways. And we had I was able to grab him before he got out of the gym in the game Saturday. Uh, and the way he put it was 1 million would be set aside to grow funds for the maintenance of the facility.
Mhm.
2 million goes into um, student life enhancements,
Yep.
which, I know he loves music, so I would think that, they may pull in a few bands or acts, something to get the kids over there and enjoying that facility for something besides a ball game. And then 5 million, the majority of that gift is going to go towards creating a fund that helps attract a higher caliber of student athletes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I think, again, credit to Renee and for seeing how that gift can positively impact students across the entire campus, and but also support activities on campus as well.
Mhm.
The $1 million you mentioned to endow basically an O&M fund, operation and maintenance fund for the building, was important, just because, as we build this venue, we also want to keep it and maintain it at a high level and become a premier venue, or be the premier venue for any activities here in Northeast Texas, which we feel like that venue can do once it opens next year. And again, crazy to think, but we're about a year away from that thing being done. If you haven't been up to campus yet and seen how it's progressing, come on up, check it out. We got a couple games here the next few weekends too, so we got plenty for you to do. But that's one thing to check out. But so that was an important piece of just putting in some sustainability initiatives and support in place for the building. You mentioned the 2 million for student life, and really that's broad use across the board.
Hmm.
It could go to, support band initiatives, or Greek life initiatives, or campus life initiatives, student facing initiatives across the board, support activities that positively impact the student experience in venue and throughout campus. So, again, a cool feature of the gift itself in that regard. And then obviously the athletics piece, and I think it's really one that we're going to use it to grow our competitive excellence across the board, and that can come in a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
Part of that is doing our best to continue to elevate scholarship, our investment in rev share, NIL, recruit and retain, and I'm going to put an exclamation point on retain,
Hmm.
student athletes who are competing and operating at a high level, both in the classroom and on the playing field. So that's been a big piece of this, and regardless, all the conversations I've had about rev share, NIL, in this new era of college sports, one of the things that does, continue to capture the attention of folks who, may not be the thing for them, but one of the things that we put a focus on is retention, and that's one thing that can get people excited about that space, is how do we retain great student athletes who are great ambassadors for the university, see them graduate from here, which we're doing at a great clip, and continue to just kind of carry the flag for East Texas A&M when they go on to whatever their chosen vocation is beyond here. So, that's a big piece of it, but it can be used for other operational things or needs within the department to help elevate what we're doing from a competitive perspective. So, again, it's kind of how we build on what we've been building over the last couple of years and laying the foundation. We've started with the health and performance space. We've grown scholarship. We continue to look at ways to improve the student athlete experience here. So those are all things that we've been able to get done to position us to be able to have a contribution like this and then have it make a significant impact on how we raise the bar further for what we're doing on the field and in the classroom.
I know that Renee was on the building committee, I believe, he's on one of the athletics committees on that in facilities. And
Yeah, I mean, there's a few folks that I kind of bounce some ideas off of from time to time as we're kind of
yeah,
workshopping some things, and I would say it's not a formal group by any means, but
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
definitely a guy that we chat with, and part of that too is just he has a suite at the Cowboys, right? So when we talk about venue experiences, he's been to a lot of different concerts, events. There's other folks that are kind of in a similar boat. Scott Wheeler's another guy in the same boat,
Hmm.
seen a lot, been a part of a lot, built a lot. Where you're probably crazy not to at least bounce some ideas off of folks like Renee or Scott or others, just as you're workshopping some ideas and seeing what might work or what might be attractive as we're designing and building out.
Those guys are Lions for life, that's for
No
sure.
question,
How,
through
when,
and through.
and this is purely for the edification of anybody that's curious. How long was it before Renee said, let's talk about some of this stuff"? How
You
how
know,
long? Who the idea probably germinated with him, though.
Oh, I
Everybody
would agree.
welcome to hear him
He
talk
was there
about
at the gates, when Renee had the first opportunity to start to see some of the concepts and what we were putting together for the design.
it. Hmm.
He made it very clear he wanted to be a part of it. There's no doubt about it. And so I think we've been able to just refine and develop that what that could look like over time.
Hmm.
But credit to Renee because he was on it from the jump, and I think it's been something that's been squarely in his focus for really since the inception. Once it really became real, right? I know that
Yeah.
from talking to folks, the concept of the event center has been around for a while, but credit to Dr. Rudin and Tina Livingston, our university CFO, for putting the mechanisms in place to make this a reality. And it was very evident, I think, within the last couple of years here that this thing was real, and it was happening. And that type of knowing that the concept's coming to fruition and you can start to see it coming into focus, it can
Hmm.
get folks like a Renee and others excited about wanting to be at the project, even at the ground floor. And that's exactly what I think we found here. So really, I think a testament to everybody that's been involved in this project from the jump.
Yeah, great stuff. And I think you and I both been around the block to know that that won't be the only thing that comes in. He'll have triggered a few things. It might not be 8 million, but he will trigger a few additional gifts that make it great. All right, now here's for the Lion Pride. How we stack up now in the Southland Conference after a gift like that?
Well, there's no doubt that headline got some attention across the country for East Texas A&M because I heard from a lot of people over the last few days since last
Hmm.
week about that from every corner of the country. There's no doubt about it. I was on an AD call for Southland Conference ADs yesterday. It's kind of just one of our normal scheduled
Sure.
calls, and it came up in there too. So people are taking notice of what's happening here at East Texas A&M, and that's a good thing.
Hey, did you walk into that meeting like with a cape and a crown and kind of like on the SEC shorts?
Now I start
You
asking
could
for
have been
things and they
Vanderbilt.
they want to start billing me for all the things I'm asking for now. We were talking about credentials for the tournament and they're like, yeah, we'll just send the invoice up to East Texas now. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, I'll catch you. Well, just get handwritten ones. Those are a lot less expensive. They know who needs to go in and out of that back door. All right. Congratulations.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
That
Great for
was
the
a
university.
team effort on so many people's parts,
No
big
doubt.
hand or little. But what a tremendous thing, and it's just the beginning.
No doubt. I think that's exactly it. I mean, you kind of see we talk about the momentum and the flywheel effect, of just kind of things happening on campus and in the athletics department, and I think this last weekend was kind of a perfect example of how, you know, one win, big or small, kind of builds momentum for others. And, I think we see that concept coming into fruition all the time here, where we continue to just try to stack wins and stack days to continue to elevate what we're doing. And, again, heck, we had a great week last week on the playing fields. Now we got to keep it going. And obviously it was coupled with obviously a historic, significant announcement there with that gift, but keep it rolling and keep the momentum going because there's a lot of good things happening right now in line athletics.
No doubt about it. Hey, while it's great in line athletics, we got a point. We've got an All-American, an
Yeah.
academic All-American, the first one we've had in football since we went Division One.
Correct. And yeah, to put that into context. Yeah. So again, you talk about momentum, right? And building wins on wins. We've seen what's been happening on our academics, over the last couple of years, last few semesters. And now this has kind of culminated in our first Division One football academic All-American, Kobe King. He's still actually on campus here, wrapping up his master's degree. So kudos to him. But to put that into context, like first off, he's the first academic All-American across any sport in the Southland Conference, any school in 3 years. The last
Wow.
one was also a Lion, Delon Edwin, who was track and field, who
Hmm.
became the first Division One academic All-American across any sport for us in our first year of Division One competition. So, again, Lions are really leading the way right now at these kind of really high level recognition from an academics perspective. But to kind of give further context to the recognition for Kobe, it includes both FBS and FCS. So you're talking 265 Division One football teams.
Hmm.
He's a linebacker. He got recognized at the linebacker position. Let's just say on average, there's about 3 linebackers per team, depending on your scheme, right?
Just
Could be more.
starting, just
But
the
start right,
starters.
right to
Yeah.
even be in consideration,
Yeah.
for because it takes into account both academic and athletic achievement during the year. So put that into context, that's 800 linebackers that, are probably eligible starting the year for this honor, and he's one of 6 total.
Fabulous.
So I mean, there's only a first team and a second team. There's 6 linebackers total between both teams. And so I was kind of joking in an event last week, but kind of not joking. If the Jeopardy question this week is Brown, Columbia, Dartmouth, Tulane, Virginia, and East Texas A&M, the answer to the question is academic All-Americans in football this year. So pretty
Excellent.
incredible when you take a step back. I did ask Avi because one of the wide receivers is one of the guys that Deuce Robinson, who played for Florida State, that wide receiver who just he had a pretty good day against us that day. I was like, we got any shots of 2 of them in the same picture? Because one's on the defensive side, one's on the offensive side. We
Yeah,
did, but we looked at least just to see. So,
that would have been a fun one to frame.
all right.
Um, what else we got going on? God,
Well, I mean, we got, that we kind of took that momentum off of the academic award and academic All-America award. And then this past week, obviously, when we 4 straight wins down women's hoops. They're obviously playing a really high level right now. I wouldn't, you don't want to play them right now. If you're in the Southern Conference, there's no
I
doubt
don't
about
really
it.
think you want to play the guys either. I know
Yeah,
that
no, no.
we nearly got SFA down in Nacogdoches.
Mhm.
That was a that was a fine basketball game to be attended.
No
So
question. And then, you think about it, we come off 2 straight over Northwestern State, who beats Lamar the same night
yeah.
on Monday night. So again, like showing the quality of the league, but also of what we've been able to do. We've got our entire season ahead of us still on the men's side. If it were to finish today, both teams would be in the tournament top 8. So obviously that's a good thing. Softball, obviously off to their best start in 4 years of D1, 2-0 start to play on Friday, coming out of the weekend over 500. Obviously more opportunities this weekend ahead, starting on Thursday this week. It started early this week,
Mhm.
but women are back at it tomorrow. We got conference leaders or conference top 2 coming in this weekend with McNeese. But don't sleep on golf and track right now either. We had a top 12 finish individual on the women's side with Marie B. this past week. And then men just finished up yesterday, but top four finish as a team, beat all the Southland Conference schools that were in that competition.
Ooh,
Quality field. Two guys that finished in the top 11, I think, of the individuals at that event. So don't sleep on men's and women's golf because they've got something cooking. And then, this past weekend, we now got a top 8 high jumper on the women's side in the country for Division One, who could be in a position to win a conference championship and then also compete for our first qualifier at a national championship event later this in about a month with indoor track. So whether
Lions.
on
Love
the
it.
track, I mean, heck, we got 4 different school records that have been broken in the last 3 weeks in track. So, I mean, it's across the board right now, but really a credit to our teams, our coaches, our student athletes, our staff, just continuing to pour in and again, just continuing to get better and better, stack days and get better as we move along.
Man, we could go on for hours, Jim, but we got a show to do.
That's it. We got
Hey,
a lot of other people involved too. So we got to
that's
cede some
right.
time to them.
Okay, hey, tell me this. This will be the question of the week. We need to start add a feature to this. It was your idea
It was
too.
my idea. Now I'm not prepared to
There's
answer
no
it
way
now.
to escape it now. Walk up music. You should have your own walk up music when you sit down in this show. Every coach ought to have their walk up music too. But what would Jim Curry's walk up song be?
Oh man. I know
Any
we were talking
genre
about
of
this before
music.
we were talking about this before we went live and I didn't take an opportunity to think about it and I'm the one that brought it up, but for sake of time here, I will just kind of put the first thing that popped into my head, although I would like to reserve the right to revisit this selection, but
You're
I'm
allowed
going
to have multiple choices,
I'm
but
going,
one at a
I'm
time.
going. First thing that popped into my head was Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know why that was the first thing that popped into my head. But I mean, we're every time we step up to the camera here and have a conversation, it's like a party. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love it. So
yeah, it's
somebody
good.
let Miley Cyrus know this now because
I
this
will.
is
I'm going to
important
reserve
stuff.
that though for potential reconsideration. So I'm going to reserve the right for that.
Well, my time in baseball, I remember that, everybody that started out in the lineup had their own walk up and that they would sometimes have a different walk up for different plate appearances. So that's kind of how that rolls. All right. Party in the USA. There's our
There
first.
it is, right? There it
It
is.
is from the man himself.
There we
Jim,
go.
it's always a pleasure. Get out of that seat, let somebody else in it. And hey, we're going to see you at the barn this weekend, right?
Yes, definitely. We'll be there. Oh
All
yeah.
right. Good deal.
Big night on Saturday, $2 beer night, gold rush, rally towels. I mean, you name it, we're throwing stuff at it. So big opportunity this weekend, both Thursday, Saturday, Monday.
All right. Let's Lions up here. We're going to get a big one on this one.
Yep.
Stick around, folks. We got more coming on Inside Lion Athletics. Welcome back, everybody. More of Inside Lion Athletics. With that Jim Curry on to start things off. We got a whole bunch of coaches now. Let's talk first with Valerie King, women's basketball coach. And, it's the question of the week. Not that we've ever had one of these before, coach. But what's your start? What's your walk up music?
I didn't think I was
What,
going to have to answer this. I said I
when
need.
Valerie King is
I
due
don't
up,
know.
when you walk up to the microphone and stand, what's the walk up from
I
off
don't
stage
know.
to on?
I just told you and Jim I needed time. I didn't know you were going to ask me right this second. I like to do
Okay,
my
well,
research.
so
Ask me next
it's
week.
not the thing that pops into your head then.
No, I
Okay.
didn't play that sport.
All right, we'll have Valerie King's walk up music next week. Hey, your team's 4-0, coach, in the last 4 games. Two of them you sweep. No, you haven't finished off Northwestern. You've only played one against them, but it was a busy time, and 4 straight wins is something y'all been working for over a year.
Yeah. Obviously, we were on a 4-game losing streak there. And we had talked about, the fourth game being at Lamar before we got snowed out that weekend. And that was a super important week for us. Those few days leading up to playing New Orleans at home and starting the 4-game win streak. There was a lot of stuff we did. I think we talked a lot about different things of what each kid needed to do, what we all needed to get better at. And, I think everybody's taken that in stride and have done that and have been doing their jobs. We had some tough ones, obviously. Nichols, we didn't play our best in the first half, but we were able to respond in the second. SFA, we were a little bit up and down as well, which obviously that's how basketball games are. But we got down 11 or 12 there in the third quarter, but great response by our kids. Coming back and getting the win down there over them, and then being able to stay together, 1 day prep for Northwestern State and coming in here and really just taking care of business.
You get done with Northwestern State, I think we get rid of the color purple in our life for a little while. We've had them back to back and real close together for a while.
Yeah.
Um, you've had some huge production out of Rizapo, and then it was more production out of Rizapo. It just wasn't all the scoring. And you look at her on the court in the action, you don't see frustration from missing shots. You see her dropping dimes for teammates and D'ing up.
Yep.
And then we got a pretty nice scoring game down at SFA out of Tiani.
Yeah, I mean, I think Riza is a great example of, being a really, really good teammate, doing what she's asked to do. And if it's not working at that time, she does more of the other things she's supposed to do and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't press. I think she is very composed as a player. And she's been really good for us, obviously. T gave us a really good scoring night against SFA. We were able to throw it to her inside on the block, which was huge for us. So we weren't, I think we were 3 for 21 from the three. So even you
Yeah.
look at that, didn't make a ton of shots, but that's how many shots we got. We were still getting it inside. We were still able to score on those. So,
And every one of those three seemed to come at just the right time, didn't they?
they did. Yeah. Nina hit a huge one, I can't remember, maybe cut it to 3. And then Riza hit another one. Riza hit a long 2. I'll count that as a 3 as well. So, they all came there in the fourth quarter when we needed them to fall.
Coach, you've all, and other coaches too, they talk about how long basketball season is and how the goal is not to be 23-4 on opening week. You just can't do it. It's progress. Your team's on a nice up ramp right now.
Yeah, I think we've really grown as a team, especially since December. Been watching some film from, obviously we played Southeastern super early in middle of
Mm-hmm.
November and played McNeese super early in December. So we haven't seen them since then. So it's kind of a punch in the gut when you go back and see it. But then again, it's obviously a really good sign because we've grown, we've gotten so much better in a lot of different areas. We've taken big steps forward this year. So that's a positive for us.
All right. McNeese is going to have the chance to have seen how much your team's progressed. What are you seeing out of them from that game and the games y'all are watching on film?
Yeah, well, I'm obviously Southeastern, they've won 2 in a row. So obviously, that's who we're prepping for first for Thursday.
Oh, of course.
They are, Jeff does a really good job of coaching. He mixes their defenses up, try to keep their opponent off balance. So we're gonna have to be really good and intentional and knowing what we're doing, each offensive possession.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get it inside when we need to, stepping up, making some shots. But really, our focus has been and still has been the past few weeks when we've seen this little bit of a turnaround has been on the defensive end. Asking our kids to step up there, being able to guard the ball one-on-one, so we're not in rotations all the time, and it's really helped us on the rebounding end. So we'll look for that on Thursday. Obviously McNeese, I mean, they're leading the league. They're super tough on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
They have quite a few, they have variety of kids that can score and score it in different ways. So, probably one of the best freshmen in the league, if not the best freshman, and Dakota Howard at the 4 spot. Um, I mean, just an overall really good player. She went off on us the first time we played down there, but they still have Pierre. You know, they're seasoned. They know how to win. They're super gritty and tough on the defensive end. They do all the little things.
Your opponent Thursday, depending on when Avi releases this, either tomorrow night or this evening. How have they won 2 in a row? Because they'd lost 15 straight before that.
Um, I mean,
What are they figuring out?
I can't answer that because I'm not there. But I mean, just a testament to Coach Dow and you know what he does and how he gets his kids prepared for games. But you know, I think at any point in the season, any team can turn it around. And go on a losing streak, go on a winning streak. So you know, I think they're probably finding kind of how we are finding their way a little bit and seeing what's worked for them throughout the past few weeks. And you know, they beat Incarnate Word at home, and then they turned around and beat Houston Christian at home. So, um, you know, they're a good team that we've got to be ready for.
Coach, other than your little jaunt Monday over to Natchitoches, you've got 4 games at home in a row. How we haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, you know, obviously super nice to be back home. Um, we like to be home. It's comfortable, all that fun stuff. But mainly, it's just good to be home to play in front of our fans. You know, and I don't know. It's good to be home. I like to be home. I'm a homebody, so
You just want those 2 little daughters of yours to come over to the next post game interview. That's it.
yeah.
And they do great. I love it when they can't reach the knobs. Okay, so anything else comes to mind? Anything else going into I mean, are you looking for anything out of any player or anybody learned a new skill, that kind of thing?
No, you know, I think just keeping our head down and keep working and keep grinding, keep doing what we've been doing. You know, and just stay on the positive track. You know, and if we need to kick in the butt, we get a kick in the butt, but really just doing what we've been doing because
Okay.
we've made changes. We're in a much better place. And we just need to keep moving forward.
All right. Over 500 overall, at 500 in conference, but that can change with the next game.
Mhm. Yep.
Coach, we'll Lions up here. Thanks for your time today, and we'll look forward to the contest Thursday evening. That's going to be a 6:30 start, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll see you before then.
All right. Thanks, Charlie.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We've got some more Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood still. Got George Pincock joining us now, head coach of Lion Track and Field. George, you had a little bit of success with your squads out on the road down in College Station last week. Lions just winning everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a good weekend for us, and it feels good to kind of get into the middle of the season and to watch some of the athletes find their groove and start kind of taking small step towards success. So good weekend for us.
Yeah, 2 school records fell. I'd say that's a pretty good one. Tell us a little bit about our high jumper and our distance runners that are
Yeah,
just
Janelle Jacoby, high jump, an event win for her. So she had a good opening week at Oklahoma and won. And then back that up with another really good performance this week. Clear a clearance at 187, so which is just right at about 6 feet, just under 6 feet, I believe, metrics.
mhm,
Or if you switch it from metric to standard, and then took some really, really good attempts at 190 as well. And that's an NCAA top 10 mark, and uh, most years a mark that will get to NCAA championships come March.
man,
Excited
that's
about it.
fun stuff right there
Yep.
in and of itself. And then how many laps is 3,000 meters in indoor?
Oh, yeah, let's see, 15. 15.
Wow.
So, 7.5 outdoors times it by 2 for indoors. So
Okay, there you go. Well, I'm not all that math and
yeah.
stuff, so
But now another good run by Nete. We felt relatively confident going into the meet that she would find some level of success.
mm-hmm.
And she ran a race last summer that was faster than the school record. So we've, like I said, confident that the school record was probably going down, but fun to see it happen while she's officially in the Lion uniform.
Great stuff. That's fun. And now the whole both squads, they get a week off. What's that like for a college student athlete in the middle of the season?
It's always, I think, just a little bit of weight off your shoulder, right? We went to Albuquerque, long travel, came back, had a short week of training, right into A&M. So 2 quality meets, with the pressure and desire to do well. Sometimes you just need to have that gap in there to kind of unload, get back to the basics, have training and fix some things in training, for some athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels good, just a little freeing.
Janelle, I guess what's a high jumper do to stay warm even during a week off? They just jump on things or over them.
Yeah, I think people would be surprised. High jumpers are fast. She trains. She does a lot of sprint work. She does a lot of plyometrics. So she's just not out doing backflips on the mats every day. She's doing things that are making her a better athlete. So, but rest is an important part, right?
It is, no doubt. So, what's the next meet up? And we're getting close to the conference championship,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be here before we know it. We'll head out to Arkansas for a kind of a final qualifier, is what they call it, on, let's see, February 20th is that meet.
Okay.
So pretty easy trip out to Arkansas, not long. 1 day meet. We'll come back, have a little bit of downtime, then that following week head right out to Birmingham for the Southland Conference Championship.
Wow. So let me get this right. You're going to be home on Valentine's Day. Did you schedule it that way? Smart guy.
This might be the first time in 7 or 8 years that this has happened. So,
What has been the best Valentine that you ever had that you were at an event?
I couldn't answer that. You'd be asking me to get myself in trouble if I said if
Oh,
the
okay.
best Valentine if I was at an event. So, no. We've been fortunate. Just so many teams, through the last 7, 8 years that have been successful and go different places on that day. And there's probably a school record or something memorable from every single one of those.
No doubt. All right. That's good stuff. All right, George, we appreciate your time. It's just a short visit, but y'all are kind of taking an off week. So, oh, wait a minute. Our question of the week, it's something that Jim came up with, and I'm on board. So when you're a sprinter, and you were, you walk out into the lane, you're getting announced to the crowd, but you need some walk-up music, right?
Yeah.
What's your walk-up music, Coach?
Oh man, I don't know. It's a really tough question. There's probably been different things at different points in my life.
Okay. Well, you're
Man,
allowed to have more than one selection at any given time.
I'm just gonna go with Purple Rain. Throw people off.
All right.
So
I don't believe I've ever heard that as a walk-up, but we'll have to see how. I haven't heard Purple Rain so long, I don't know how it starts. So,
well, you need to check in on that.
we'll do that.
Classic right there, Charlie.
Oh, heck yeah. I've heard plenty of Prince over the years.
Yeah.
All right, man. Okay, Purple Rain for you. Just in case you missed it, Jim Curry's walk-up is Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Avi has Here Comes the Boom.
Okay. Good one.
That's a good one. Valerie King took a pass on this. She is not ready.
That's not fair. I didn't know that was an option.
Well, that's why I say you have multiple opportunities. But Purple Rain's a good start, and you can always update this.
Okay.
Just like you would on your iPod for listening to tunes.
Perfect.
George Pincock, it's always a pleasure, sir. We'll Lions up here. And hey, we'll see you this weekend. Everybody's going to be in Commerce.
All right. Take care, Charlie.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. But
We're back with more Inside Lion Athletics, everybody. We've got Brittany Miller, head coach of the Lions softball team, and Haley T. Lions came out winners last week. Coach, congratulations. The new year begins. You picked up, well, tell everybody. That was a
Yeah,
bunch of.
it was a good weekend. We were 3-2 on the weekend, which we could have got that one on Sunday, but it was a overall really good weekend. Pitchers came out, did their job well enough for us to win, and offense came out ready to go. So, clean up some defensive things this week, get the pitchers a little bit more on point, and then keep rolling into this week.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how the pitching went for you. Uh, some of them they were pitching to contact, and then some others avoided it.
Yeah, no, Madison came out and did a really good job. Same thing with Maddie. They had really good outings. We were working through some stuff with Jess, and she, had a really good performance in her minimal innings that she had. But overall, we just got to eliminate some of the walks, the free passes, and I feel like we're going to be right on point for this weekend.
Very good. How about the hitting?
Offense came out. We did a good job. We tell them if we get to 10 hits, we should be able to win that game. And so as long as we're not getting 10 hits kind of all out throughout the game, we got some runs out of that production. We should be on the good side of it. So we started with our power kind of at the top of the lineup this weekend, and that really worked well for us. So we're going to continue to push forward and see what we got this weekend with the pitching that we have coming in.
All right. Hey, Charlie Anger has promised me a number of home runs. Did she have any this first week?
No, she did not. But Tatum had two
Yeah.
home runs that were huge. So, yeah.
Anybody hit it over to the softball or the sand volleyball courts?
Not quite to the sand volleyball courts. We'll get a couple of those though.
I know it. We saw them last year and a year before. It's fun
Oh,
when
yeah.
they travel like that.
Yes.
So this is the first kind of week's action, a number of games you've gotten to see some players, the new ones, in action against a real live opponent. It's early, but what'd you like about it to start?
Our communication was really good this weekend. Didn't matter who was on the field. They were doing a good job communicating, especially with the freshmen out there. We had Kaylin and Zoe were out there as freshmen in the middle, actually, and on the left side. So, they did a good job. I was excited to see them come out and kind of get their feet wet. At the end of the day, everybody's going to be able to come in any situation and be able to perform and do their job, and that's the expectation with the smaller roster.
Having strength up the middle. A lot of people like to build catcher, pitching, second and short, and then center field, and then spread out from there. How the Lions looking up the middle?
We're looking good. We have Aaliyah and Gracie and Haley that could all be behind the plate any given day. Got some freshmen in the middle with Charlie and Haley, also able to go in the middle with Emmy as well as a senior. And then we got a senior center fielder right now with Emma. And so, if they're doing their jobs, everybody else around them is going to be able to filter in and do their job.
Okay, very good. Marist, Jackson State, Southeastern Missouri, Rhode Island, Grambling, Missouri State, and your Lions are due up this weekend. Coach, first up, what are we going to do with the weather?
Hopefully it'll hold out for us to be able to get the games in, at least for most of the weekend. It's a benefit that we're playing on Thursday, I think, this week, since we'll get 2 games in early. So hopefully Saturday will pan out and we won't have to make too many changes or none at all, but, we'll just play it by ear.
So 2 games for your team, 2 on Friday or Thursday, I should say, 2 on Friday, and then 1 each on Saturday and Sunday while the other teams are hoping to get diamond time. It really helps to have good drainage over there on an artificial surface, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. As long as there's no lightning or complete downpour, we should be okay to play. So that's the benefit of being able to be on the turf and not on the dirt. So we'll see. Hopefully the lightning will stay away and we'll be able to get some good softball games in.
So on a regular surface, on a dirt infield, you can play in a light mist, and it doesn't make the infield slick.
Mhm.
But on the carpet, it's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, because normally on the dirt field, you'll get the mud start going.
Mm-hmm.
It could be slick on the turf as well, but if you have your cleats on, for the most part, it should be good as long as not a complete downpour for a long period of time. So, the drainage is good. The surface will play fine, as long as that lightning stays away, because that's just an automatic. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Are any of these teams that you're really looking forward to facing? Marist, obviously, from what Jim was saying, they've been a NCAA playoff team before, and as recently as last year with conference championship and even a win in the regional.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always exciting to bring teams down and play in front of our home crowd. So, all of our opponents are going to come out. They're all going to be looking to get some wins and be competitive. And so, Marist, Jackson State, Grambling has a new head coach. So, we're just going to go out, put our best foot forward, and see where the chips lay.
Okay. All right. Last question, Coach. We start, and it's the question of the week: walk up music. What would be Brittany Miller's walk up music as she took the ball and headed to the circle to get ready to pitch?
Well, a couple years it was Britney Spears, and then my senior year was Champion. But I think it was Kanye West, but I couldn't even tell you for real.
That's okay. Even sometimes I can't remember anything but the music itself. The artist, I don't know who that is.
Exactly.
It's a great song, though. All right. So we've got Brittany down for champion.
Yes.
We'll have to see if we can get that done. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Will Lions up here. Folks, Lions softball, they've got a busy weekend planned. 2 games Thursday, 2 more on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Watch Lion athletics and keep up with that. The weather may change, but we'll hope the weather stays out. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, we're back with more of Inside Lion Athletics. It's a busy week. Lions were busy winning last week. That's why. We're going to get Brian Dolehide in here, head coach of Lion Golf. Men and women are both in full swing. It's a golf joke. Coach, how in the world are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Just got back from Montgomery, Texas, and headed out to Corpus Christi here in a couple of days with the ladies.
All right. Hey, you had the women were on the course last week in a tournament. The guys
Mm-hmm.
just wrapped up yesterday, and both ended up pretty well. Ladies first.
Mm-hmm.
How was their performance on the links? Where'd they play?
We played down at Texas State's event. Our first two rounds were solid. Always could be better.
Mm-hmm.
But after not getting out to the golf course very often with the weather we've had, and not playing an event for a few months, I was pretty pleased with the first two rounds. We kind of fell off a little bit that third round. So
Mm-hmm.
this past week or so and these next couple of days, we've been getting to work on our short game and trying to fine tune some of that with all the ladies. But yeah, I think looking forward to a good one here down in Corpus.
How was did anybody finish in the top 20, 10, 20? How do you
Marie
measure
B had a
the team's
solid.
performance? Is it just what do they do versus what they've done before?
Yeah, Marie B had a solid event. Can't exactly remember her placement in the event,
Mm-hmm.
but she's always been a pretty phenomenal player for us. So, um, we're looking to have all the girls get right up there. We've
Mm-hmm.
uh, we've been working pretty hard this last week or so. Now that we can get out and see some grass, and uh, I think we're up for a good one here in a couple of days.
All right, the one that they have coming up, they're going down to Corpus Christi.
Right.
Some conference schools probably will be at one down there, huh?
Definitely. Yeah. Decent amount of conference schools, just like we saw them at Texas State. Looking to get some shots back on them down there. We've seen the course before, so should be good.
Okay. And forgive me for going backwards again, but I didn't
Mhm.
realize we had conference teams that were part of the Texas State event. How do we do against the ones we got to stack up against?
Yeah, we didn't fare too well against them this
Oh, okay.
past tournament. So yeah, like I said, we're just trying to get those back here in the next couple of days, and I'm sure we will.
All right. All right. Let's go to the men's side. The guys just finished up yesterday, and they had some other teams from the Southland Conference in there, and I believe they finished in front of every one of them.
That's right. That's right. We did. Finished in fourth, uh, ahead of, I think, Incarnate Word. They were tied with Baylor, so got them by a few shots, which was pretty sweet. You know, I was really proud of the guys. We had a really slow start. Started a few over through our first 3 or 4 holes, and we were at the bottom of the leaderboard. Two of our guys were actually right at the bottom of the leaderboard for a quick second there, and um, Davis and Giannis stepped it up that round for sure,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the following rounds as well. Davis uh, coming in 11th, Cooper also coming in 11th. Really proud of those guys, and each and every one of them we really held our own this past week, and looking to bring that momentum into California here in a couple of weeks.
Coach, you mentioned Baylor being tied with UIW
Mhm.
behind ET. What were some of the other schools out there? You used to work at Baylor, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, I was there right before I got here to East Texas.
That's kind of fun to beat your old friends.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun for me and the guys. They really loved that. You know, it would have been nice to bring home a trophy, and that's what we're looking to do here in California. So always on to the next one, right?
Exactly. You want to get better and be at your best at the end. All right. Jim Curry helped bring this up. Walk up music. And we visit a little bit before we do these segments, everybody, just to give you a look behind the curtain. But uh, Coach, you've had walk up music at a golf tournament before. Tell
I
me a
have,
little bit about that experience. It's not at every one of them, is it?
no, it was the member guest tournament out at Sulphur Springs this past summer. I got the opportunity to play with Alex Moats, one of our assistant coaches here. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I believe our walk up song was some B.O.B. song. I can't remember which one. I know he would remember. But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time that week, and uh, you know, it was great.
What would be your selection for walk up music?
Man, putting me on the spot here.
I am. I am. Now I have full disclosure. Valerie King said her favorite song, her walk up music would be announced next week.
Oh, okay, fair.
So if you need a fallback position, one has been established.
I would like some time to think about this, but I'd say the first one that comes to mind is "Whatever You Like" by Ti. I
Okay.
I love that song for a walk up song, and um, I'd like to have an opportunity to change at a later date.
All right. You have that. And there's no limit at this point. We haven't come up to, in baseball, softball, you get probably three at bats, right, in a game.
Right? Yeah.
So you get at least three walk up song opportunities.
hmm Yeah, you
All
hit a
right,
lot of
man.
shots in golf, so you'd get a decent amount
I mean,
not on the course.
okay. Women headed to Corpus Christi, the men to Palm Springs. And we wish all safe travels and the best of luck at those.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
All right, folks, we're going to line up here. That's Brian Dolehide, head coach of Lion Golf, and both teams are in plenty of action tournaments. God, when's the conference tournament?
Mid April for the ladies, and then late April for the men.
God, 2 months. That's about all there is left. All right, folks, stick around. We've got more Inside Lion Athletics coming your way after this. Hi, folks. More Inside Lion Athletics for you right away. We've got Jaret von Rosenberg, who is head coach of a very busy men's basketball team. Coach, 5 games in just a little over a week. Start out the 31st of January, and then let's see, go on the road. Have New Orleans on Monday. You went to Northwestern State for that makeup game on Wednesday. Saturday, part of the doubleheader versus Northwestern. And then you went down to Stephen F. Austin on Monday, and what a whale of a game that was.
Yeah, it was a busy week, and I thought we played good basketball the whole week. Even New Orleans game, I thought they shot it really well early, but we scored 50 in that second half. Gave ourselves a chance to get back and claw back into that game, and then obviously get 2 wins over Northwestern, and then hold the lead for a lot of the game at SFA and go down late, but find a way to go to the free throw line down 3 with 6 seconds left. And they were able to convert their free throws to keep the game out of reach.
That was so close, though, to have the ball in your hands and a shot to tie late in the game, but it just didn't work out the way we would have hoped. But, man, it was you look back just versus the first time we played the Lumberjacks when they came to see us in December. It's almost like you have 2 different basketball teams.
Yeah, I think we're playing better. We're healthier. And the group's more connected defensively and offensively. We did a nice job on the scouting report for the SFA game. We limited their, success in the middle of the floor offensively. Burton got free to start the game, scored 12 points in 4 possessions. But for us to not blink and get back and take the lead in that half all the way up to the last minute was a good sign for our guys.
A little bit of rest this week, and they've certainly earned it. How healthy did we come out of those? The guys that were available at the end of the week, are they going to be good to go this week?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Guys were available for practice today, and we'll move on to McNeese tomorrow, start preparing for that game. Obviously, doesn't get any easier with SFA and McNeese back to back. Really good opportunities, I think, for our guys to understand that we were on the road. We can play with anybody in this league if we play well and we stay connected on offense and defense.
That you have them at home is probably huge. And 4 games in a row we have at home? Is that right?
Yeah, so we finish up 4 games in a row, and then we go on the road for the last 2 at RGV and Corpus Christi. So, 6 games left. Obviously, wish we'd have won some more games early, but I like where we sit right now. An old adage that we always talk about is we want to be playing our best basketball at this time of the year, and that's what it looks like we're doing.
Outstanding. Big games out of Gianni Hunt of late. He's really stepped up some, helping out, and even Josh Taylor has had a little bit of extra minutes on him because of injured forwards, and look what he's done to assist.
Yeah, when we talk about players, it's not one player that's going to, make us have success. We need everyone that steps on the floor to contribute to winning, and that happens in a lot of different ways. Everyone looks at, the stats of shots, rebounds, assists, but there's so many plays that go on throughout the game. Tay Mosier missed some time, and analytically, he's our best offensive player. Our points per possession when he's on the floor compared to when he's off, and he's only averaging 5 points, but his ability to get us into offense. So it takes everybody. That's why I talked about being connected. We're still trying to get better. We got practices right in front of us before McNeese. There's a lot to work on, and there's always something to clean up. But we need to trend in the right direction, and we need to play good basketball, heading into the conference tournament. If we take care of business and win the games and put ourselves in position to go and accept McNeese, it'll be on a neutral floor where I like our chances.
Coach, you play SFA and McNeese back to back, the number one team in the conference right now in the standings, and the number two team right behind them. That I think a lot of people in the preseason felt like McNeese would be the winners. The confidence your guys have coming out of the SFA game, and now they get the Cowboys, but at home, they've got to be feeling good.
Yeah, well, I just think they're feeling better about how we're playing as a team. It goes back to the same thing, having success offensively and defensively with the structure that we're trying to emulate or produce. That's a big sign, and Tay and Ronnie go 0 for 9 from 3 combined in that game that we lose by 4 on the road. Obviously, Johnny had a big night shooting it, but we can't worry about. We got to just worry about the shot quality that we're getting and the shot quality we're giving up, and that's what we try to focus on.
Okay. From downtown, Johnny certainly can hit them himself. But being able to have both Vinny and uh, Damien out there together, that's just, well, if there's nothing open on the left, throw it to the right.
Yeah, well, the style that we want to play, we want to put 5 guys on the floor that can contribute offensively. It makes it really hard to scout and really hard to play against. And at times we've been able to do that where we become really dangerous offensively. We've just gone through too many droughts offensively this year where we don't get good shots and we don't, run enough actions. And it's really been a downfall for us when it comes to wins and losses so far. But I like where we're at. We're going to keep showing up, and we need, guys to be healthy first and foremost, and to be locked in and playing confidently. And if those things happen, there's no question that we can beat anybody on any given night.
Coach, when you look at stats and metrics, there's some that aren't in the box score or on the stat sheet that you can pull up online, and usually they're defensive metrics or just ball handling on offense. What are some of the things that you look like that don't have a category?
It really comes down to us points per possession, offensively and defensively, because there's a
Okay.
number of things to think about. There's different schemes, different styles. When you're on the floor, how does our offense perform? How does our defense perform? That's the cleanest metric to look at because it has to do with per possession that you're on the floor. So
Mm-hmm.
a guy playing 35 minutes and 10 minutes, it's the same exact metric. So that gives us an idea of who's playing well, groups that are playing well together, whether it be defensive units or more leaning offensive units. The success we're having on the floor when that person is on the floor is really the best metric, the way we see it, to decide who gets to play and who gets to play extended minutes.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for that insight. What about things like, deflections? And I think you and I have talked about this. When are they going to make some of those tangible activities part of the stat sheet?
Well, every coach has their own things that they're looking at. What you emphasize in practice is usually what you get on the floor, and we've got a couple of things, but if you're just talking about overall how we're looking at our season and where we're at, that's probably the main one we use.
All right, very good. Coach, before we run out of time, everybody so far, with the exception of Valerie King, and she got a pass, walk up music. Have you got a favorite walk up song from? I mean, you were a multi sport athlete. You grabbed a bat and walked up to home plate. What'd they play?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember that far back, but if I had a song from when I listened to music and when I was an athlete, it was DJ Khaled. All I do is win. So
All I do is win.
I'm not a big music person. I listen to everything, but don't listen a whole lot in general. So
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you always get something in the back of your head. Yeah, I like that. It's got that good deal. So There you are. By the way, just so you know what Jim's is, his walk-up music would be Miley Cyrus, "Party in the USA."
In USA.
Sorry. All you do is win. All he wants to do is party. So
Yeah.
that's the guy you work for. Jim's great, and the music selections are awesome too, including yours. Coach, we'll see you in the field house on Saturday. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Go Lions.
All right, folks, Will Lyons up here. That might be, I think we're getting close to the end. That is it. Another week's edition of Inside Lion Athletics is in the mill. And folks, enjoy it. And we'll see you at the field house or over at the Kane softball complex this weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.